What's up, everybody? This is Sean, back with a new movie review and a bit of a format change. These now will be featured on my own personal account for these classic movie reviews. I'm still part of Southern Fried Geekery, so proudly part of that podcast. If you enjoy any of my work here, I highly suggest you check out our show. We're fun, entertaining about comics, nerdom, and geekery. But what we're going to do now is some classic movie reviews. I started these a little while back, and I'm kind of moving on after a long break. So I got a request to do Citizen Kane. It is a seminal film that I've never watched before today. It is the vehicle for Orson Welles, a renowned actor, and this is his starring, directing, producing, co-wrote debut. It's a movie. I'm sure I said a name. You don't need to. You know what it is. And what I was really looking into it because I knew a lot of the story. You can't help but know the Rosebud ending by now if you have any kind of knowledge of movies in general. But what I want to talk about with this movie is it the classic, the ultimate movie like a lot of people want to put out to be, or was it overhyped? I'm floating somewhere in the middle, and let me tell you why. It was a very good film, especially for its time when it was made. The angles, the use of shadows and light, foreground, background. Wells knew what the fuck he was doing with a camera. Let's just be honest here. He was fantastic, and it was a very good film. It's just about the rise from a man as a young boy who was taken in after selling a mine that turned out to basically make him millions upon millions of dollars. He went from nothing to very rich. And it showed. Like the character early on started a newspaper about this kind of pointing out the politics and just calling people out in the Inquirer, the newspaper as it was called. But what this film did, though, was take a look at things I don't think was being discussed at the time, and for its time, it came out very revolutionary film. I can see why it's held in such high regard. I think it's good. I think it's excellent. I don't really think it's just the greatest film ever made because, honestly, I've seen it now. I doubt I'll ever go back to it again. And there's nothing wrong with that. And if you feel it's the number one movie of all time, there's nothing wrong with that either. It's great that you agree with it. I thought it was just said very entertaining. Glad I finally seen it. And, being a movie buff that I am, I'm surprised it took this long. But overall, like I said, highly recommend it. If you got 2 hours to kill and you need to check off some more movies off your movie watch list, this is definitely one that needs to be done. Little background, something I found funny was Wells was interviewed and they asked him, because in the movie it's his deathbed, he's alone in his sleep, and he just whispers, Rosebud. And then he dies. He was holding a snow globe, it crashes with a fantastic fisheye lens shot for his maid coming in and finding his body. And he was apparently asked, so if he died with no one in the room and said Rosebud, how did they know that was his last words? Reportedly, Wells just stood there, just stared at the man for a few seconds and said, don't ever tell anyone that again. As seminal as a director and actor he was, apparently that was a little bit of an oversight that he just said, fuck it, we're just going to roll with it anyway, and no one seems to care. So, yeah, overall, I'd say it's a damn good film. My personal taste, I don't think it's the greatest film ever made. It's a damn good one, and it definitely deserves that regard for a lot of people. But for me, solid flick, definitely, especially of its time. So, that's going to do it for today. Thank y'all for tuning in. This is going to be posted now on my regular channel. If you guys, I intend to make more of these. Don't know about the frequency, but I'm going to try and get to them. If you like the sound of my voice, but don't like the look of my face, you can always check me out on Southern Fried Geekery podcast with my co-hosts Craig, Caleb, and Jerry. We have a lot of fun. I'm going to plug it every show, so get used to this. You can find us on any way you can download a podcast, and even here on the YouTube. We have a Facebook group where you can come on there, post and talk comics and nerdom and geekery and everything that we all love. As you can see, if you're especially a first-time viewer, got a lot of nerdom in my life, and I fucking love every ounce of it. And I love discussing comics. And there might be some stuff here every now and again that's just my own thing, but I will forever be repping for Southern Fried Geekery. So, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your cousins, tell your enemies about these videos, and go forth and love movies.